Just want to get my presentation up. Right. Thank you very much, Julia, and to you, Gillian, and to those from wherever you may be around the world. It really is a pleasure to be here and to be able to share some of the things that I'm passionate about and what we are doing. And then please, we'll have time at the end for some questions. And so I'm going to just kick off. So our focus today is on empowering health through those that are in the second half of life. From a global context perspective, we're living longer. There's a rise in chronic conditions and social isolation. And this has health implications of disengagement, cognitive decline, a lot of loneliness, and a loss of identity. And yet there are so many opportunities for older adults as reservoirs of wisdom and social capital. So why does this matter now? It's because longevity and technology are two of the mega trends around the world. And by 2050, 1 in 6 people around the world will be 65. So aging is often framed as a decline. But if we create healthy options of purpose and connection and contribution, we change that. So this is what the current global picture looks like currently. Over 1 billion people over 60. By 2050, 2.1 billion people. From an African continent perspective, we are currently 67 million, and 1 in 11 people are African. But by 2050, it'll be 1 in 4. That's a huge gradient. I've just attended the International Federation of Aging conference, and the gradient of aging on the African continent will have a steeper curve than any other continent. South Africa, we have just tipped over to being an aging nation, and we have 30% more female people in South Africa over that age. So what is the problem that we're looking at? It's about disconnection. Older adults face isolation. I think COVID showed that up significantly around the world. Again, digital exclusion and a loss of identity as they grow older. Health systems are overlooking social and emotional drivers of well-being as part of the holistic part of health. And skills and wisdom that are in this part of our demographic can be used and are unused at this stage. So as a solution, 50+ skills is looking at, firstly, we're a social enterprise. So it's important for us to add social value and to make a difference wherever we are. So we're a platform for career reinvention, digital inclusion, and community engagement. We serve individuals, and through the individuals' communities, we come alongside coaches, financial advisors, and organizations. And we're anchored in purpose and dignity and lifelong learning for everyone. This is just a quick visual of our team. As you can see, young and old, stretching across the generations, with a whole different set of skills for each person. But the one thing that brought us all together was an absolute passion to make a difference for people in the second half of life. So from a marketing strategy perspective, we chose to build a membership community where individuals pay either 500 Rand a year from the day they join, and then it's a 365 days that they are members until it renews, or 50 Rand a month. And that's almost like a cup of coffee. And then on the other side, we do quite a lot of consulting and coaching and transformation within this space. We have a number of ways in which we create income streams for the organization, the membership being one. We run public courses, and I'll share a little bit more just now about what that is. We have corporate contracts, coaching of individuals who want it, and some sponsorships. Right. My screen has frozen. Just unshare it. Sorry about that. This happens from time to time. Right, so no, not in slide mode. Let's go back here. I'm going to leave it in this mode if you don't mind, because otherwise it might just freeze again. Right, so okay, so let me just stay here. So in our ecosystem, we have the members in the middle, and then we have surrounded ourselves with certain NPOs. We work with financial planners and coaches to understand longevity. And we then create communities. We work with corporates, and as I said, the individuals and small business. And it's in the activities that we do that we create what we now call the flywheel effect. So you can go to the next slide, and then I can explain what we do. Right, so this is what we do for our ecosystem and our members. They create a profile on our back end. There's a back end directory. They get 2 newsletters a month with what's happening. We have online events and local community events. We have a learning academy with lots of courses online for anybody to do. And we're about creating connections and building bridges for each other so that we can do more peer-to-peer learning and find intergenerational solutions. This diagram here is of our course that we run that is over 6 months to help people transition from the workplace into their next season in a world where we're living longer, that can create an opportunity for them to envisage working for longer, having a portfolio life, earning for longer, whatever it is that they need in this season. Next slide. Right, so here just an example in our back end. In the profile, we ask people what industries they belong to, where they live, what skills they have. And we at any point can go into the back end to see how many people do we have from education, from the mining sector, from the financial sector. We can also see the different skills and where those people are so that we can collectively use them in projects. And this was one of the projects that, well, these are some of the projects that where people have knocked on our door to ask us for help. Not all of them came to fruition, but they explain what it is that we're trying to do. So working with retired engineers as mentor to a group of young engineers in a procurement process of a new mine. A lot of our members become mentors to young entrepreneurs through an incubator in South Africa called the Fatola. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group is one of our MPO members, and many of our members have done their counseling course and now do support groups wherever they are. We've matched teachers and retired teachers during COVID. Another one of our MPOs is the National Business Initiative, and they have requested for us mentors in financial and engineering sectors to work with young intergenerational programs in municipalities. So that just kind of give you a little bit of idea of how the flywheel effect works. Next slide. Right, so we've done surveys from time to time, but this is what our members say. And one of the reasons why we are a paid community is the people have kind of put a stake in the ground of wanting to be involved and have a growth mindset. But they tell us that they find belonging, that it's a place of belonging for them, that it creates a new purpose and a reason to get up, which is one of the great things that we need in this season. It's about learning new skills. We do lots of online learning together. Many of them keep earning and remain relevant, and there's lots of networking and collaboration, and I'm going to share some stories just now. But our members are generous, they're experienced, they're skilled, and they're wise individuals with time. And for me, I believe that we're a national treasure and an asset to the nation. Next slide. Right, just to date, to just give you a bit of an overview, we have 150 individual members. We're working with about 15 nonprofits, and in most cases, they are umbrella bodies, and I'll explain a little bit there just now. And we have done some contracts with large organizations. Next slide. From an MPO perspective, and also serving the unfunded. So in every nation, but specifically in South Africa, there are a lot of people that are on the government pensions, about 4 million. And we have a number of MPOs that we work with that group, 3 of them being TAFTA, who look after a whole bunch of homes in KZN, in Durban. NOAA is Cape Town based and has a wonderful model of dignity and participation for their residents, and Nazareth Care. From an international point of view, we are connected to Common Age. I'm a Common Age bursary recipient, and I belong to the Pass It On network, which is a network around the world on aging, and we also have a SADC division of Pass It On Africa. And then from an MPO perspective, the Financial Planning Institute, so that's an umbrella body, because we are not financial planners, but we have access to them. And for our members who need help with financial literacy, we have a pathways to guide them to where they need to go. I've spoken a little bit about SADC. The National Mentorship Movement do mentoring across the country, and many of our members become mentors. And I've spoken about the National Business Initiative. Next slide. So our aim and the growth process where we're scaling now is that we've moved. We are an online network, but we also want to be a local network. So we're building local communities wherever we have members, and we've started obviously with the cities. And that creates more understanding, collaboration, and networking, and supporting each other. And as we're building this model, we're starting to create a way in which it's easy for us to build a model anywhere around the world. Hence, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. Next. Right, so from a health impact, as you can see, many of the things that we are doing are going to boost their mental and emotional health, promote physical health. We're going to strengthen identity and self-worth for the individuals. It fosters community resilience where they're supporting each other, and we're helping to create the opportunities for healthy aging policies to be created. Thank you. Next one. Right, so I have 3 examples that I wanted to share with you, and I did see earlier on that Jennifer Webster, who is this lady in the denim jacket. So I'm sure when we get to the question time, if you have any more questions about this, you're welcome, and she can respond. So Jenna Webster is a member with 50 plus here in the Cape, has had low vision challenges since she was a child. And so she understands that world of navigating as a low vision person, of which in the senior world, many do struggle with the similar scenarios. And so Jen has created this product that's called the pad perch, and you can see it there, both used by a young person and an older person, where that is a structure that has where you can place your your tablet or your mobile phone, and it amplifies and magnifies whatever is under it, whether you're writing, whether you're reading, whether you're doing needlework. So there are many ways in which helping to remain independent for longer, even though some of those skills are going. Also teaching technology skills on how you can use your phone and tablet as your eyes, and as, using the speaker and accessibility through your phone. And for me, one of the things that many companies are missing is creating the right accessibility on their websites and in their apps, so that people with low vision can access the information, both online, but also in physical space, so that people who have low vision can navigate independently, and sometimes it just needs a few tweaks. So these are some of the consulting things that Jen does. She's a great member in our community, and it's the cross-communication and sharing that create the value and the momentum sometimes for the individual members to move to the next level. Next one. Right, I'm going to go through this one quite fast. Rob Jones is also a member here in the Cape. Both Rob and Jen have just turned 60. And Rob is involved in the retirement living and care sector, and he has an absolute heart for the care of the caregivers in society. And so he's created these three projects that I'm talking about. The one is Project Scaffold. The second one is creating baseline assessments for the caregivers and ensuring that they are not at risk as employees. And I'm going to share a little bit just now. And then as a result, they have created some apps for the caregiving industry in South Africa. Next slide. So from a Project Scaffold perspective, they built an online portal that serves the older person sector of South Africa. They started with the care sector, and they have approximately 88 members who meet on a regular basis. And they're going to be extending that to other parts of the older persons sector. You're welcome to have a look at their website to see what they're doing. But it's more about collaboratively working together, and then working with government to make sure that that the dignity and the care of our older citizens are done well. And collectively as a team, we're much better than we are on our own. Next slide. On the caregiving side, I introduced Rob to two organizations that are doing fantastic work here in South Africa. One is Taking Care of Business, which is in the informal sector, looking after individuals across a number of streams, but they work very closely with the Green Light movement, where they do assessments of communities and individuals. And under the MacCare group, they did an assessment of the caregivers at a number of their homes. And the answers, the assessment has 80 indicators, I think, and it comes out with green, orange, or red indicators for the individuals. And then you're able to collectively look at your group. And from that, then firstly, it's to show individuals that they have quite a lot of assets themselves within their community, and those are the green. The amber ones are helping them move themselves into green, and those that come up red is where interventions then can be done. And one of the interventions that they've done so far is financial literacy for this group of caregivers, and slowly but surely they're building up on this assessment. Next slide. So under Wandawazi, they've created two apps, and I'm not going to go into them in detail, but one it's been created again between Rob And at one of our 50+ meetings down here, one of our other members who had just left the industry was a IT architect for one of the banks for most of her life. And they met together and collaboratively together with a developer from India, a developer from Malawi, and a developer from South Africa, and two 50+ members with a passion for their industries have developed these two apps. And so that for me is where the magic really happens, is when we can connect and create that ecosystem that I spoke about. Next slide. Right, so this is my last one on my examples. This is NOAA, one of the non-profit organizations that we work with. This was taken at the International Federation of Aging Conference, which happened in Cape Town a few weeks back. And NOAA really has built a really fantastic model for government pensioners. And it's about engaging, about sustainability, about building enterprises. And these ladies are so happy to be part of a thriving community of elders. And this is how it should be as we thrive. And poverty should never get in the way of that, as it does for so many around the world. Next slide. Right, so as I said when I showed you that slide about South Africa and Africa, as a social entrepreneur, I'm always happy to share what it is that we do and to find and co-create solutions wherever we may. So I'm just inviting you to connect with me if that is something that you're interested in. Go to the next slide. And our dream is to grow into every community in our nation and then into the nations. And for me, I spent the majority of my early professional life in the early childhood sector, understanding how important the first 7 years of life are, and in fact, the first 1,000 days from in utero to 2 years. And so longevity doesn't only start when we're old. It starts through each season of life. And so we do need champions in a longevity world across the whole continuum. In the most of what we are doing now, we're working with those in the second half of life. But I think there is a longevity economy, and I saw the other day on LinkedIn for the first time, the lifetime economy, is that our world is changing and we need to think at how we change that. And as you will have seen, obviously this being a health perspective, we need to improve our health span so that we can live better for longer. None of us want to live for 10 or 15 years with poor health and still be alive. And so there are scientific and medical ways that are creating opportunities for us to live better and create better health for all of us. And social well-being is absolutely vital, as we know. We're halfway through the decade of healthy aging, and these are the three sustainable development goals that are the focus for our work at 50+ Skills. Next slide. Almost done. Right, so just in summary, these are some global facts. So 1.2 million people currently over 60, projected to be 1.4 in 5 years' time. By 2050, older adults will make up 22% of the global population. 80% of older adults live in low and middle income countries, and these kind of solutions can work. And we face many risks of isolation, illness, chronic illnesses, and digital exclusion. From a 50+ perspective, we're hoping to reframe aging as refiring, not retiring, offering lifelong learning, career reinvention, and digital inclusion, building those intergenerational bridges and community resilience, and promoting health through purpose and connection and contribution. Next slide. Right, so just as a closing reflection for yourselves as you kind of think through this presentation is um, these aging is and the longevity is presenting profound social challenges, and aging is the one or ageism, because it exists, is the one ism all of us will live through, because we will all age at some point. So as the world grows older, so do we. So what part of your story, of your skills, your wisdom, or your lived experience still wants to serve the future? How might you refire what part of yourself to contribute to health, to equity, and to community? We all can. In the Pass It On network, we talk about we are the ones that we have been waiting for. And our founder, who died earlier this year at 93, she said, work, paid or unpaid, until my last breath. And she literally almost did that at 93. Next slide. So I just want to say thank you firstly to Gillian from Bertha, and to Julia and the team from Social Innovation for this opportunity to be able to present. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for that wonderful and insightful presentation on the work that you've been doing. So I see during your presentation there were chats, questions that came
Can
up.
we maybe ask to unshare the presentation? There we are.
Sure.
That's great. Now can at least see.
Sure. So the first question that came through is, how do you ensure strategic alignment between three core pillars of serve, learn, mission drift? Would you like to take a few, Linda, or answer one at a
Sorry, Gillian, I'm just trying to read what you said. Just repeat that one now.
So the first question that came through was, how do we ensure strategic alignment between the three core pillars of serve, learn, and earn to prevent mission drift?
Yeah. So that's a constant thing that we look at when we're doing online talks or when I'm doing newsletters. We're constantly finding ways for people to create entrepreneurship or learning opportunities. In the learning, we'll do stuff on how to redo your LinkedIn profile, or some stuff on artificial intelligence, and then from a volunteering perspective. So I constantly use those three pillars for our content, because in that way you're creating it. Some will lean towards one pillar specifically, or wherever they might be in their own journey. Because the one thing I know, every one of us is unique in this specific season of life. Some have enough money, some have too little, some have good health, some have poor health. Family dynamics play out. So it's an interesting place to navigate your journey in this world that we live in.
Thanks, Linda. And the second question that came in is, what is your defined theory of change that links activities to measurable long-term impact in the participants that you work with?
Oh, that's such an academic question. I'm not the academic, I'm the social entrepreneur. Yeah, but I think for me, doing regular surveys and creating and testing and experimenting, and then relating the stories. That's how for us, we feel like we're moving forward. And it's been a tough journey, because in a country like South Africa, where we are not until a month ago, in the latest Stats SA, classified as an aging nation, our big challenge is on the youth bulge. And so there's very little focus on this. And yet, for us as an organization, we felt we can be a seesaw and create work for both sides to build strength in the nation. But it depends on who you're talking to as to whether they're interested or not. And it has been many years of knocking my head against a wall. But I feel that the world is opening up to understand both, and policies like pension rules in companies take a very long time to change. So while those policy rules are still in place and corporates are catching up, we can offer interventions for individuals through companies or individually that can assist those that are caught in that. And that may not answer your question fully, but hopefully given some insights.
Thanks, Linda. I don't see any further questions directed to you coming up in the chat. So unless anybody would like to unmute and ask Linda directly.
I'd love Jennifer Webster just to kind of maybe put her camera on. And if there is anybody who would like to ask her any questions around her work at Curable. Jen, are you there?
Sorry, can you get her name again? We turned off the option to turn on the video for security, but I could allow her to do that.
It's Jennifer.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, maybe you must keep that security, Julia. I understand why we have it today. So can people put their hand up or not?
Oh, yes, that is possible.
Okay.
Yeah, so we encourage you guys to share your questions and insights on the chat. But if you'd like to speak to Linda, please raise your hand. But for me, my question would be to both you, Jillian and Linda. So how was it like working together? I think it was the venture program, correct? So I guess what did you guys learn from each other in the process?
Yeah, thanks, Julia. That's a lovely question. So Linda was involved, I think, from the beginning of last year. We first kicked off with a 5-week program called the Venture Launch Program, which was very theory-based. There were assignments, multiple choice questions, and regular check-ins with the professor of entrepreneurship at the Graduate School of Business at UCT. Then after pitching in that initial phase, Linda progressed onto the next phase, which is our Venture Scale program, which was a 12-week in-depth course and curriculum. So it wasn't theory-based, but there were a lot of master classes and mentorship sessions. There were coaching sessions to advise Linda and the rest of her cohort on how to present and how to pitch their innovations. And it involved a lot of work and thinking around how they could take their innovation to the next level. So yeah, Linda, I remember, was one of the standout students who was always engaged in the regular check-in sessions. So we knew there was a consistent warm face there in the room. And she always asked insightful and intriguing questions that made us think and reflect on how we could better improve the program. And yeah, from what I remember at the final pitch day, there was a very tight line between the winner and the points that Linda scored as well. So she did exceptionally well, and we are super proud to have her on the program. And yeah, we are keeping in contact with her to see where her journey takes us and how we can better support her.
Thank you. Thanks, Gillian. And from my side, it also was one of those amazing opportunities. I thought at 67, almost 69 now, that I was past being on an accelerator program. But in this specific case, it just was such a fabulous way to learn and to grow. And those masterclasses were fantastic. The assignments in the first 5 weeks were seriously tough, but they were on our business. And so that gave me and my team an amazing opportunity to really dig deep. So I think that was very valuable for us as a team. And then, yeah, pitching is never easy, but the butterflies somehow have to fly in some kind of formation. And I'm very grateful for the second prize and for the opportunity. I think for more than anything, as I said, I've hit my head against walls for many years because this wasn't seen yet as something that was important. And getting that prize meant I was seen, I was heard, and the work we are doing matters. So I was very grateful for that. Thanks. And I see Gillian has now put up, Jenny has put up her hand.
That's great to hear from both of you. Okay, I will try to get Jenny on.
Am I
the video.
unmuted now? There we go.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, yes. So just to say well done to Linda. I think it's wonderful that to acknowledge entrepreneurs in this age, because there are things, a lot of the funding and things are for young entrepreneurs, but there is a need for them to design for their own futures, but they don't know what their future is because they're in it. It's so fast, it's so changing. And I think it's so important that we actually support people like Linda just going forward for bringing in that gap and keeping the gaps, the generational gaps. Also because our younger people sometimes don't have the emotional support that they needed. They don't have the sense of identity that they're crying out for while they're producing a lot of digital material and content. They're kind of a lot of times falling apart emotionally and mentally. And I think it's part of our role as seniors as well to be able to speak into that, but also to design for their own futures, help them design so that they're not excluded when they get to this age. So I think the accessibility for all kinds of mobility, hearing and vision, issues is very important to bring a connection into. So yeah, just thank you to everyone on board and for the opportunity to be here.
Thanks, Jen.
I see Meredith has got a hand up as well.
Okay, I was trying to unmute. Thank you. And yeah, thanks, Jillian. And thank you, Linda. I'm Meredith from the Philippines, also part of the SIHI Secretariat. Thank you for that presentation. I think your innovation is really interesting. I agree that I think the golden years have a lot to offer, a lot of networks, a lot of wisdom. And I'm also, I think, entering that golden years already. I'd just like to ask you and your team, I think you have been doing great work already on social innovation. Was there any advantage of being part of the network? I think you are already considered part of the SIHI network in Cape Town. Was there any add-on value of being part of that network?
So for me, any opportunity is an opportunity to network and to learn from others, because we are much stronger together. And so I loved engaging and getting to know the other individuals who were part of the program and what they were doing. And I continue now to be part of the Bertha alumni. As for me, that's how I feel, and that there are opportunities like this that come up as a result of being part of a social entrepreneurs network.
Thanks, Meredith. Are there any other questions? I don't see some in the chat, or anybody who wants to raise their hand. Okay, I think we can wrap it up then, Julia. Okay, sure. So thank you for joining us for today's SIHI Talks. We hope the insights shared have sparked new ideas and inspiration for action towards advancing social innovation in health. As we wrap up, we are excited to invite you to our hybrid pitch day in 2025, happening on the 30th of October 2025 at the Bertha Center. The dynamic event will showcase groundbreaking solutions from innovators across South Africa, similar to Linda, but this year's cohort, and it offers a unique opportunity to connect, collaborate, and champion impactful change in our communities. So whether you are joining us in person or online, please don't miss a chance to be part of this vibrant community. I will drop the link in the chat, and if you're interested in joining, please sign up and RSVP on the link. Thank you. Julia?
Yeah, thank you so much, Jillian and Linda. It was inspiring to hear from both of you. Of course, Linda's presentation was excellent, and we could see how being part of the Bertha Center really molded that the way she presented her advocacy and the entrepreneurship part of the venture. And I'm very inspired as a young person. I like what Jennifer said, that there are a lot of opportunities for us, but for those in your the golden years, there's so much more to look forward to. All right, so I hope you guys see the link. I thought you sent it. Yeah, see the link that Jillian sent. I'll just have a few announcements that maybe you'd like to try. So if you'd like to receive a certificate, you can scan the QR code on the left, and then I think Grace will send the link to that. And on the right, you have a next session in November about ethical AI, ethical artificial intelligence for climate resilience, um, and health equity in small island developing states. So this will be co-hosted by our colleagues in the Caribbean from the University of West Indies. And also, I would like to apologize to everyone and also to our speakers for the disturbance that occurred earlier. I'm really sorry that you had to see that and hear that. But we will be upping our security measures for the next sessions, and I hope that I hope that nothing like that happens to you again in the future. All right, so if you'd like to know more about SIHI, we have our social media, what do you call this? Social media links or names in our various platforms. And all previous SIHI Talk sessions are in our YouTube channel. So we'll process this recording first before we upload it again. But I'll be sure to send you guys the link once it's ready. And yeah, if you'd like to send any of your contact details so we can partner and contact in the future, you're free to do so. So once again, thanks everyone. Thank you for joining, and I hope you had a good time learning from Linda and Jill.
Thank you so much, Julia and Jillian.
Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone. Thank you, Linda and Jillian.
Bye.
All right. I'll end the session now. Thank you, everyone.